Welcome to Land of the Bible. I'm David Sussman, your personal guide here in the land of Israel. And in today's episode, we are going to explore the beautiful region of Gush, Etzion. Gush Etzion is a cluster of Jewish communities located here in the Judean mountains. Originally, these communities were settled in the 1940s as kibbutzim. Unfortunately, during the War of Independence, these areas were destroyed by the Arab Legion and the Jordanian army. At the end of the War of Independence, a ceasefire line was drawn, otherwise known as an armistice line, and these communities fell on the Jordanian side. And for the next 19 years, they were occupied by Jordan. That was until 1967 and the Six-Day War. After Israel was attacked by Jordan, yet again, we were able to liberate these areas, and once again, Jewish families were able to return to their homes. Today, the area has expanded, new communities have developed, and the population exceeds 23,000. There are a ton of things to do here in Gush Etzion. Today alone, we are going to visit a counterterrorism training facility, go ziplining, ATVing, and visiting some of the biblical and historical sites in this region. But first, let's speak with the mayor of the largest community here, the city of Efrat. So join me as we explore Gush Etzion. I'm standing here now with the mayor of Efrat, Oded Ravivi. Now, if Gush Etzion had a capital city, Efrat would be it, with a population of over 10,000 and plans to build, and in the process of building, another 1,100 units. Efrat is the center of life for the residents of Gush Etzion. Thank you, Oded, for joining us here today.
My pleasure, thank you.
Oded, your name, that's a name of one of the prophets in the Bible, correct?
It was one of the prophets. He is not mentioned too many times in the Bible, but the main act in which he's mentioned is trying to release Jewish prisoners that were taken into prison during the battle between the state of Judea and the state of Israel.
Wow, incredible, Oded. I think it's important for people to understand that many of our names here in Israel are biblical names that have been passed down in our families for thousands of years. Speaking of names, where does the name Efrat come from?
So, first of all, to your first comment, you're right. A lot of the names are mentioned in the Bible, but not only they're mentioned in the Bible, they also have some meaning. For example, Oded means to encourage. So it's not just a name that might sound nice, but it also has some interpretation which is relevant to the Hebrew language that we use today. Regarding Efrat, Efrat is mentioned a few times in the Bible. The first time it's mentioned, it's when our mother Rachel gives birth to Benjamin and passes away just at the entrance to Bethlehem, which is slightly north from here. The next very significant place is in the book of Ruth, when Ruth and Boaz come out of Bethlehem. They play around in the outskirts, in the fields around Bethlehem over here. They fall in love. Out of that love story, out of that marriage, will be born the King of Israel, King David.
Wow, incredible.
Wherever you step here is biblical significance, whether it's the agriculture, whether it's the view, and whether it's the belief that through this passage, through this row of mountains, our fathers went up to the temple, went from here to Beersheba, afterwards to Egypt, and we actually have archaeological diggings to prove these things, that thousands and thousands of years ago our forefathers actually passed here, walked here, and sometimes they even dipped into the water springs before they went into Temple Mountain, depending on which generation we're talking about and what period of time.
Amazing.
How can people around the world help support Israel and the rights of the Jewish communities here in Judea and Samaria, some of whom have lived here for generations?
It's a very big challenge. It's not just generations. We're standing in the central of Gush Etzion, the capital of Gush Etzion, Efrat, where there were Jewish people prior to 1948. We know that the Jewish people who lived here prior to 1948 had to evacuate the women and children because they were attacked, and the men who stayed to protect the property were killed in battle and taken into captivity by the different Arab armies who were attacking Gush Etzion. Gush Etzion actually fell on the day before the war, the Declaration of Independence. And it's an ongoing battle to prove our rights and our legal rights here. But if you ask me what is the one thing that we can do, I think if we promote the coexistence issue, if we promote the fact that we realize that there are Arabs here and there are Jews here, and our only intention is to carry on living with one alongside the other, that's a win-win situation. When I hear the attempts of the BDS, who want to close factories in Judea and Samaria because they are manufacturing in occupied territories, they fail to understand that the number one people who get punished by those sanctions are the Palestinians themselves. The Palestinians that I know, the Palestinians that are working here, are interested in earning enough money to bring back home to supply for their kids. If we will know how to empower those who seek peace, our future here will be much stronger and much better.
On behalf of myself and all of our viewers, Oded, we say thank you. Stay tuned as we continue our adventure here in the Gush Etzion block as we visit some of the more popular tourist attractions.
There are moments in life that define you and leave you forever transformed. Like a once-in-a-lifetime journey to the source of your faith. Walk in the steps of Jesus and experience history beyond its words. Sail the ancient Sea of Galilee to the holy shores of the River Jordan. Your journey begins here.
The community here at Kfar Etzion has opened up this brand new state-of-the-art heritage center that allows the visitor to walk through the life and times of those early community leaders and individuals who settled this land. It goes through the War of Independence. It even has some of the ruins of the original community that existed here just 70 plus years ago. So come with me as we explore a little bit of this museum. In 1927, a group of religious Yemenite Jews settled this area and they called their new community Migdal Eder, after the biblical verse found in the book of Genesis. Unfortunately for this group of Yemenite Jews, there were Arab riots in the region in 1929 and they chased them off their land. In 1932, a wealthy German Jew by the name of Joseph Holtzman gave a tremendous amount of money in order to establish another community here. They called this new community Kfar Etzion. You see, Etzion in Hebrew means a wooded area, and Holtzman in German means trees. So you can see the relationship there. Unfortunately, again, this new community was chased off the land once again. And then in 1943, the Jewish National Fund settled another group here, forming a new kibbutz. And this kibbutz saw a lot of success. They survived here, they stayed here for several years. And then, with the War of Independence, the Jordanian army, the Arab Legion, they came here, and yet again, another Jewish community was destroyed. But now the survivors and their children, who had fled to Jerusalem, would look across for the next 19 years during that Jordanian occupation of this land. And they dreamt that one day they would return. Well, that day came in 1967, As I mentioned earlier, when the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, liberated this entire area, and those children and those people were able to return to their parents' homes and rebuild. And today, Kfar Etzion is a community unto itself. I'm here with Ari Luria of the Gush Etzion ATV company located just outside of Deer Park, and he promised to show us something really special on this ATV tour as we explore the path of the patriarchs. Let's go.
Let's go.
Man, this is incredible. ATVing right here on the path of the patriarchs. I mean, this is the road that Abraham, Isaac, Jacob all took from Beersheba or Hebron on their way to Jerusalem. This is incredible. And how do we know that this is an ancient road? Well, follow me over here. We have discovered not one, but several of these Roman mile markers. We've dated this. We know that this mile marker, that this road existed at least 2,000 years ago. Now the Romans placed these mile markers on all of their roads every 1,000 paces. Each pace just a little bit less than 5 feet, which means that a Roman mile is almost the same as a mile we use in America today. Now just across the valley over there, you can see these apartment buildings. That is the Jewish city of Beitar. Beitar is named after ancient Beitar, which was famous for the last stand against the Romans during the Great Bar Kokhba revolt of 135. Now, interestingly enough, there's a small Arab village just below Beitar called Batir. Batir, Beitar, you can see how the Arabs continue to use the Jewish biblical names of this area even today in modern times. Because 2,000 years ago, there were no Arabs living here. They only arrived here to the land of Israel, to the Jewish land, in the year 638 CE during the first great jihad. Ari, you promised me something special at the beginning of this tour. Tell me, what do you got?
I'm now going to show you proof of the Jewish connection to this land that we are in and the path that we're traveling on with the ATVs. Let's go see it.
All right, I'm excited. Let's go. Wow, this is incredible, Ari. What are we looking at exactly?
We are looking at a ritual bath that all the Jews used to come on this path, like we saw from the milestone. They used to come here, they used to camp the night before. They would wake up in the morning, go into the ritual bath, go to 2 entrances. Why 2 entrances? You would go in unpure and come out pure. That way the wall is in the middle so no one would touch their shoulders. And then they would continue from this path all the way to Jerusalem. It's a 5-hour walk, more or less, from this point.
So let me get this straight. Jews living in Beersheba, Hebron, or anywhere in between would travel on this road. The night before they would arrive to Jerusalem, they would camp out here, and then wake up in the morning, purify themselves in this ritual bath, continue their walk to Jerusalem, and presumably when they would arrive, ascend the holy mountain to the temple itself.
Exactly. And all the Jews, they used to come on the 3 festivals.
Which are what?
It used to be Sukkot, Pesach, and Shavuot.
Wow, that's incredible. Let me ask you, do you think that your great-great-grandparents 2,000 years ago, 2,500 years ago, traveled on this road and used this exact mikvah?
They definitely did, and so did yours.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible to be able to touch the ground and the steps and see the mikvah that our great-great-grandparents used in this land, and here we are, back again. Folks, the next time you're here in Israel, make sure to visit Gush Etzion and the Gush Etzion ATV company and do a tour of the path of the patriarchs, because you got to see these stones and all this history with your own eyes. Now come with me as we continue to explore the rest of Gush Etzion.
There are moments in life that define you and leave you forever transformed. Like a once-in-a-lifetime journey to the source of your faith. Walk in the steps of Jesus and experience history beyond its words. Sail the ancient Sea of Galilee to the holy shores of the River Jordan. Your journey begins here.
After visiting the many biblical sites here in Gush Etzion and the various museums, many families take the opportunity to visit Deer Park. It happens to be one of the most popular tourist attractions in the entire Gush Etzion area. The reason being is that they have a fantastic ropes course here, which teaches kids and adults to conquer their fears and succeed. And the most popular attraction here is the zip line. Wow, that looks like so much fun. The zip line goes for roughly about 1,300 feet and sits 360 feet high. The whole zip line experience takes just under a minute, and on the way back, you're given a 15-minute Jeep tour of this area. During the Jeep tour, you can see some of the terrace farming in this area, some of which dates back all the way to the biblical period. We're now standing here at Caliber 3, which was established in 2003 by Israel Defense Forces Colonel Sharon Gad. Since then, Caliber 3 has become the leading counter-terrorism training academy here in Israel and one of the best in the world. We're joined here now with Eitan Cohen, the lead instructor of the counterterrorism school here at Caliber 3. Tell me, Eitan, what exactly is it that you guys are doing here at Caliber 3?
Basically, Caliber 3 is a counterterrorism academy, the big academy in all of the states of Israel today. Caliber 3, as a matter of fact, offering all many type of training for all many type of units from all of the levels.
It's incredible, and Israel has some of the best soldiers in the world, and definitely the best security systems in the world.
100%. The real truth behind the soldier, how we're responding to our incident, and why we're here, as a matter of fact, to explain to the citizens sitting behind the screen the meaning of a soldier, the real meaning of a soldier in the states of Israel.
So I understand Caliber 3 offers some type of counter-terrorism experience for tourists from abroad. Can you explain it to us a little bit?
Yeah. What we're offering for our tourism is a type of military experience. Military experience should, through the training of us, should we establish, after the name of Captain Chagai Chaim Lev, we're explaining to the citizen, as a matter of fact, have no military experience and don't know anything about terrorism, to explain the real true, what's standing behind our response, our quick response to a terrorism incident in the states of Israel. And through that, we give him the real truth about the Israeli security system.
What exactly does a tourist gain from this course, this experience?
From my experience, any tourist who going out after that 2 hours program, say that was the highlight of my trip. I'm feel as a hero. We give them Israeli heroism, pride. People understand what they really support. They speaking with us, they training with us, they training basically with the best.
Do they fire live rounds?
Live round, 22 caliber. We basic the training on speed, accuracy, and teamwork to show them the meaning of communication in the battlefield, the meaning of a soldier in the battlefield. So the soldier not supposed to serve the weapon not supposed to serve the soldier. What's supposed to serve the soldier is his meaning. First of all, the meaning of a weapon in the battlefield, and then who's the real soldier. Because a weapon not gonna make you a soldier, definitely not the vest or the uniform. What's gonna make you a soldier is the real heart of you, the soul.
Any possibility maybe we can shoot some live rounds right now?
Of course. Let's go. One of the colleagues, Yoav, an officer in the IDF, and he's waiting for us in the shooting range.
I'm glad that there's people like you out there protecting and serving and training others to do the same. We appreciate it.
No problem, my pleasure.
There are moments in life that define you and leave you forever transformed. Like a once-in-a-lifetime journey to the source of your faith. Walk in the steps of Jesus and experience history beyond its words. Sail the ancient Sea of Galilee to the holy shores of the River Jordan. Your journey begins here.
The main difference between counterterrorism firing and infantry firing is, of course, timing. When you're in open terrain, you have time to prone, you have time to use your sights. When you're firing in a counterterrorism technique, you have a lot less time. You have to do everything very, very fast. So our technique starts from ready position. It's the position where you heard maybe an explosion, maybe shootings, and now you need to use your other hand to maybe run, maybe move away the crowd, maybe drop a VIP to the ground. Right now, I want you to stand in routine position. Right? When I'm gonna say ready, you're gonna do this, go into ready position. This way, you can move, you're mobile. Yes?
Okay.
When I'm gonna, then you're gonna do body and weapon, like I've showed you before. I'm gonna demonstrate. Ready! Body, weapon, bam, 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 bam. Now you try.
Okay.
I'm gonna say ready. You're going to ready position, which is this. Ready position. Now I'm gonna say body and weapon. Body. You're gonna keep the stock still. Press against your
Okay.
And when I say weapon, you elevate the gun and we go through the side. Ready?
Ready.
Body.
Body.
Weapon.
Weapon.
Fire. Very nice.
You know, one of the incredible things I learned here at Caliber 3 is that we're able to defend ourselves and know how to use the weapon. God forbid we have to use it. So this has really been an incredible experience here. And as you can see, I hit the bullseye many times. Wow, that was totally awesome. The next time you're in Gush Etzion, make sure to visit Caliber 3. They offer the shooting adventure, urban paintball, rappelling, outdoor training, and so much more for tourists to experience here. And while you're here, make sure to pick up a book about the life and times of Chagai Chaim Lev, who was unfortunately killed in action. And all the proceeds of this book go to support the soldiers in the IDF. Join us next time here on Land of the Bible as we explore the Judean foothills and the biblical account of David and Goliath, Samson, Delilah, and so many other stories that took place in the Ela Valley.
There are moments in life that define you and leave you forever transformed. Like a once-in-a-lifetime journey to the source of your faith. Walk in the steps of Jesus and experience history beyond its words. Sail the ancient Sea of Galilee to the holy shores of the River Jordan. Your journey begins here.
We've been having so much fun today, I nearly forgot to mention the beautiful olive groves and gorgeous vineyards that grow on the hillsides here in Gush, Etzion. Some of those orchards are still grown on the same plots of land that our ancestors farmed. But how did they farm thousands of years ago? The land here is steep and erosion can be severe. They built these huge terraces, stone walls to prevent that erosion. Some of those walls can still be seen on the hillsides today. Thank you for joining us today here in Gush Etzion. Make sure to join us next time as we connect you to the people, places, and lands of the Bible.